guys, Slevtek here, and welcome back to another episode of Slevtek's Roundtable, where we get to have a conversation with other streamers and content creators and get a little bit more of an insight into who they are off of camera. And today we have KingCarlisle. Carlisle, I love your name, bro. What's going on?
How's it going, man?
Dude, I'm loving it. How's your day? How's your day so far?
It's slow. It's slow. I just woke up about an hour ago. So, living the dream, doing what I can.
I got you, man. Are you kind of going full-time streamer, or is today just your day off?
I say full-time streamer right now.
Okay.
Only because I have no actual job right now. I just graduated my bachelor's degree.
Congratulations.
And so it's been thank you. So it's been slow moving since. I've had interviews here and there, but nothing stuck apparently. I am going to start substitute teaching soon.
Okay.
That's something to do.
What'd you get your degree in?
Psychology.
Oh wow, that's Just don't Freud me, okay? I don't want to know my deepest, darkest secrets.
I'll be watching. I'll be keeping it.
What made you get into psychology, bro? That's I've always found it super interesting.
So, I was in the Air Force for 6 years.
Okay.
And I knew that I wasn't going to stay in after my 6, and I knew I needed to get out. And so when I finally got out, moved in with my sister, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And originally I was going to be a history major. But a lot of the people in my family, once they got their degrees, they didn't even utilize the actual bachelor's degree that they had, and they went in a completely different direction. Like my sister, she has an anthropology degree, and she is a nurse now. Like it just completely went the other way. So the biggest recommendation that I was getting from family members was to just get a degree in something that you were interested in.
Yeah.
And psychology has always interested me, especially like being aware of how people think and what things can actually influence how people react and are around other people has always interested me. So psychology was the direction I went. And it was fun. It wasn't always the best major to have, but I enjoyed it. My future goals, though, have nothing to do with psychology. So I actually want to go to law school at some point.
Okay.
But I knew that
I feel like psychology would be kind of useful in law, you know?
Oh, definitely.
When you're on trial and whatnot.
Definitely. But it's just not one of those things that you like put 2 and 2 together.
Sure.
Like, oh yeah, psychology. So yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to study international law because I love traveling. I love being in different countries. And I just think that like pairing the two would be pretty fantastic.
Gosh, man, that's really cool. I have not met somebody that is in international law or it finds that intriguing. So that's really cool, man. So how did you get into video games? With you being in the Air Force for 6 years, you like going to school, being like a full-time student, just now getting out of it. You're streaming now. Me and you know each other through Savage, right?
Yeah.
We played that literally we played once. And
one night, yeah.
And I love it, man. I love how that's how the community kind of works. But how'd you get into gaming?
I mean, I've been gaming since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I was never really given any of the newest systems or whatever. I had to make do. I started off with a Game Boy when, Game Boy Color was out. And then like every time something new came out, I had the next thing. Yeah. So I've always been into gaming, but I kind of fell off when I was in the military. Only because I was just so busy. Because
did you go right out of high school in military?
I didn't.
You didn't?
Okay. I worked at a sushi restaurant and at Walgreens. Sushi restaurant for the first year out of high school, and then Walgreens for the second year out of high school. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this ever again. I was literally stacking tampons at Walgreens, and I was like, no. And so literally that day on my break, I called an Air Force recruiter. I was like, what can I do to get out of this right now? So yeah, it was just a good choice to make at that time. Sure. And I'm glad that I did. Yeah. But it was a very demanding job. And so there were a lot of days where I was just too tired to play video games or whatever, but I've always stuck with it. But for the last couple of years, up until Black Ops 4 came out, I hadn't really been playing a lot of video games because I'd been focusing on school.
Sure.
And then Black Ops 4 came out, and my buddy who lives in Vegas, who I was in the Air Force with, he and I, that was our way to like reconnect and like stay in touch. He was playing video games with each other all the time. And so after a few months, he just kept like pressuring me to stream.
Yeah.
And I like to try to do the best version of it that I can. And so I did it a couple times, but I didn't want to actively stream just through my PlayStation.
Sure.
I wanted to, get the camera set up and
be able to have music and everything.
Yeah, I wanted to do it right. And so I just slowly took my time and, collected everything that I needed in order to stream properly. The only thing that I struggle with right now is internet. And that's because where I live, there can only be one internet source. And so I basically utilize the internet from my landlord, who's also a family member.
Okay.
And so the actual like modem is upstairs.
Oh, God.
And I cannot convince her to let me link a cable all the way down here.
You have to do it wirelessly?
So I have to do everything wirelessly, and it kills me all the time.
Oh, that's right. Where do you live, man? What state?
Florida.
Oh, dude. I spent I think 3 months in Florida. I was in the Fort Lauderdale area. Dude, there's some crazy people out there.
Oh yeah, Florida's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the weak, for sure.
What part of Florida are you in?
The West Coast.
West Coast?
Near Tampa.
Okay, I gotcha. So yeah, no, I was right on the water by Fort Lauderdale, man, and some of the stuff that I saw was just absolutely insane. I saw an MMA fighter, a pretty well-known MMA fighter just completely beat the living daylights out of a guy outside of a bar, and nobody did anything. Cops weren't called or anything. It was just, It was insane. They're just oh, that's what happens, and people were just walking and by him. It was a normal Saturday night.
What was it? When I was working at that sushi restaurant, I left. We closed. I left, and as I was driving away, there was a bar nearby, and same thing happened where just two people came out of nowhere and were just fighting in the street right in front of my car, and I was just like, come on, man, I want to go home.
Yeah, that's so were you born and raised in Florida? Is that kind of always been home for you?
No. I was actually born in Germany.
Oh, wow.
My dad was in the army, and he was stationed over there, and my older sister and I, we were both born in Germany. My parents met in Pennsylvania, and so we eventually moved back to Pennsylvania. And then my mom and dad got divorced. My mom moved down here to Florida, and so I just kind of kept moving back and forth between the two for most of my life. But I've lived more in Florida, not in the Tampa area, but lived more in Florida than anywhere else.
Yeah. How was that growing up as a kid with your dad in the military, kind of being an army brat?
He got out when I was one or two.
Oh, so you didn't really get too much of it.
Yeah. I mean, I still moved around enough and jumped schools and lost friends in the same way that most military brats do. So it had its moments, and it was pretty difficult. But
yeah, I had the same thing. My father was in baseball, which everybody thinks is really cool. I guess to people that enjoy baseball, it is kind of cool. I hate baseball, probably largely in part to my father. But from the age of from when I was born up until the age of I think 6 or 7, we would travel with them. So every week was a different state, a different hotel, and a different atmosphere, and you just had to learn how to make friends. And I'm all right, these are gonna be my friends for the week, and then you move on and you are able to make new friends, but you don't really stay in one place for too long, which. Exactly. It was hard growing up, but as a kid, you don't really realize it. It's just how life is, So it's not oh, my life sucks. Just this is how it is. You just have to kind of move forward. I thought it was kind of cool. I think that it's definitely made a impact for the better in my life, just because I'm able to talk to so many different people and relate to a lot of different people, because I've been able to understand more cultures, if that kind of makes sense.
It does, definitely. But the one thing that I have had issues with more recently is I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of having to reset the clock and like
Yeah.
talk to people and find out new things only to then lose them again and then have to restart the process. So I kind of like, I mean, it depends on the situation and who I'm around, but for the most part, I find it a little bit more difficult now to like connect with people just because I'm so exhausted from
Yeah.
all the times I had to do it in the past.
Would you say connecting or just opening up to begin with?
I mean, honestly, both.
Yeah.
Um, One, in the back of your mind, your time with this person is probably incredibly limited.
Yeah.
And also, you're like, not everybody needs to know every single detail about me.
Oh, 100%.
So, like, what's the point? And so you just kind of like wash over and move on.
Yeah. That I have found that is where like online friends kind of come into play a little bit more than like, at least for me in my experience, like in the real world. Because I always relate to like the virtual world and the real world, and I feel like I'm more present in the virtual than in the real a lot of the
Definitely.
time. But what I've found is like my friends from like playing video games and that I've met online, I've stayed in contact with and have built these relationships. And the relationships are so much more meaningful almost than that of my real life connections. And with that, it doesn't matter if you move or if you travel or whatnot, you can still stay in touch and have that same relationship because you're
Yeah.
not quantified by having to be in a room with them. You're just sharing a space with them in the virtual, where you can just have a
Yeah.
conversation. That's where your relationship originated from, and that's all that we know. So we don't need to go out and see that person to be able to keep that alive.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like I said, like we were just talking about, like you and I met through Savage. That's how I met Redneck. That's how I met I Am
Oh, you
Justice.
know Redneck? Dude, he was just on the podcast a couple episodes ago.
The night you and I played, it was with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we play Call of Duty?
It was the
Damn.
three of us with Savage, and then he was like, "All right, guys, I'm getting off."
And then
the
we
three
three
of us
played.
stayed on with it. Yeah. But yeah, I've been playing with Redneck, and he and I get along great. And
I love he's a
yeah,
no
I-
he's a
I
no
completely
BS
agree.
guy. He's a no BS
Oh yeah,
guy.
definitely.
So like if you're pissing him off, he'll let you know.
Oh
But
yeah.
if you guys are
Oh
cool,
yeah.
he'll let you know too. Like that's what I love, like transparent people. You
Oh
know?
definitely.
And I feel like that is one thing though in the kind of gaming world or streaming world, whatever you want to call it, that we don't really get too much of. You don't get very honest people a lot of the time. A lot of people will either be like the yes man, because they feel like you're going somewhere. They just want to
Yeah.
be in your corner as you rise up. Or they're kind of the passive aggressive person where if they have a problem, they're going to do weird roundabout ways to try and get back at you rather than confront you like face to face. I don't know if you've experienced that, but that's just something that I've experienced in the virtual a little bit more than necessarily in the real world. It's still present in the real world, but it's a lot easier to confront somebody in the real world.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still new to streaming, so I haven't had that happen yet. Everyone that I've met so far, I feel has been pretty genuine.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I've connected with them so well. But I can definitely see what you're talking about. I could definitely see how people could want to try to sort of manipulate the situation to gain off of other people. I
Yeah.
can definitely see that.
Yeah. With your psychology major, because I'm actually very intrigued by that, man. Honestly, if I was gonna go to I had a full ride scholarship for swimming to University of Tennessee. I was gonna go for engineering. Then as like I thought about it more, I realized how much engineering is not for me. And I would have gone into either like psychology or like criminal psychology. Like I love kind of getting into the mind of like serial killers and people that commit crimes and whatnot. With you actually going through it all, I'm curious on what you kind of peg video game players as, you know, because I know that a lot of people, like, I know that I've gone through many different reasons why I play video games. You know, like at an early age, it was a way for me to kind of escape my like day-to-day problems, like my family problems and things like that as a kid, you know, and you kind of engulf yourself in this virtual reality. But as I like came to like start streaming and things like that, now I'm all about making friends, building a community and things of that nature. But I still use it as a form of escapism. You know, like what's your kind of viewpoint on that, just from like a psychology standpoint on why people play video games? I'm sure there's so many different reasons, but just kind of what you possibly think.
Well, I mean, first I want to say, just because I have a psychology degree does not mean I'm like
an expert. No.
well versed.
Of course, but I want to pick your brain about it a little bit.
In my personal opinion, I completely agree. It's something for you to sort of escape the world, escape whatever problems you have, and sort of get some sort of enjoyment because of the fact that you're getting, especially when you're winning a game, it's all those endorphins building up and like making you happy, and pulls you away from all the nonsense of the world around you. And so you just sort of look to it, and it is sort of like drug like, sort of addicting in the sense
it's dopamine, isn't it, that is released?
Dopamine. That like gets you that high of feeling good and feeling, you know, better about yourself, even though, you know, the world around you is chaotic and stressful. And so I completely agree. It's all about escapism. It's all about, you know, just not having to think, basically. Like you're still thinking, but you're not thinking about everything that stresses you out. And so, you know, for me, the same thing. I used video games as a way to avoid thinking about all the stuff that was going on with my parents growing up. And, you know, I was really big into Pokemon when I was, you know, 2 years old. So,
that's what's up. Okay, first Pokemon game, go.
Oh, Pokemon Red.
Red?
Easy.
Mine was yellow.
I got yellow, but I got red first.
That's what's up. Are you a Charizard like main?
Oh hell yeah,
Charizard's where it's at. Oh man, I love it. Are you still playing like the newer games or anything like that?
No, just because I don't have like Nintendos or anything like that. I did play Pokemon Go. I still play Pokemon Go from time to time. Like I'll pull the app up and like see what egg I hatched or whatever.
Sure.
But they've started opening up all the newer Pokemon that I've never even heard of before. So every once in a while I open it and I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Never mind.
But I want a Weedle, bro. I want a Weedle. Sandshrew. Did you ever watch this TV show?
Oh hell yeah! I watch that every day. I get up super early just so I could watch it in the morning before I went to school.
I love it, dude. I remember what was it? Scooby-Doo was on like before it. It would be Scooby-Doo, and then it would be Pokemon, and I forget what was on after because I think I had to go to school too. But
yeah,
that's funny, man.
But yeah, I definitely agree with you that video games is just a way to feel happy, to take yourself away from what's bothering you and just focus on something that's right in front of you that, you know, gets you excited and gets you in the moment instead of worrying about everything else around you.
Yeah, I think it's very therapeutic too, because who is to say that the virtual world is any less real than the real one? You know, the connections that you make, the friendships that you make aren't any less than, you know, it's just as significant, if not even more, because I've opened up to people online that I've never told anybody that I know around me, you know, even growing up or whatnot. I just don't feel comfortable. And I feel like with the internet, where we've kind of gone is there's those kids or there's those people that don't fit in where they currently live. You know, like let's say you're in Alabama, you know, nothing against Alabama, or Arkansas, because nobody likes Arkansas.
But you're not wrong.
Right? But let's say you're in Arkansas and you're gay, right? But you live in like a small town. Again, there's nothing wrong with being gay, but let's say you're gay, you're in a small town where it's very homophobic, you know, and everybody, like for the general population, you do not associate with, you don't even want to have a conversation with because they're either demeaning you or like physically abusing you at any like given turn. You know, but then you go online, and whether it be through video games or just through the internet, you kind of find a community where you resonate with and that you feel accepted, and then you now belong. You know, I feel like that's so important from a human like nature aspect, is we want to feel a part of something. And for those outcasts that don't have that where they currently live, I feel that it is not just a benefit, but it's actually necessary for those to possibly get through those hard times, you know, and know that they're not alone in the world, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it's sad to see a lot of the times though, like bullying's at an all-time rate. Cyberbullying is huge as well, you know, but I do believe that with the cyberbullying, there's also good that comes from the internet. You know, and it's kind of a balancing act of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. You there? Your video's getting a little screwy. That's okay. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But how do you know Savage, bro?
He was, I don't want to say the first streamer that I started watching, but he was one of the first streamers that I started watching. And I just liked the energy that he brought. I liked how he would like sort of rage, but in like a calm way. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, he would rage and then he'd just instantly be like, whatever, you know, cool.
Yeah.
And
I'm not mad.
That was hilarious. And so yeah, so I started watching him more and more. And for a while I was kind of like, I'm never gonna be the person to like spend money on Twitch. I'm never gonna, you know, subscribe or anything. And then someone subbed for me, and then I started not getting those commercials. And so
you're like, this is awesome.
And I was like, all right, cool. And then they came back, and I was like, I don't like this anymore. I don't. But that's why I was like, all right, I'll bite the bullet, and I subbed. And you know, I get hyped when he gets on, because I'm like, I'm gonna watch this and laugh my ass off.
Yeah.
And you know, then when I started thinking about streaming, I started like hitting him up during chat and asking him like one question here or there, not to like bother him or anything, but just to, you know, get some information about how to better my stream, sort of model it after how he does things. And then at some point, I guess he recognized me within the community and was just like, yeah, man, you're part of this now. And I was like, hell yeah.
I'm in. Mama, I made it.
And so I started hitting him up when he didn't have anybody for Black Ops squads or whatever. And,
yeah.
And so he let me hop in, and then I started meeting other people like you and Redneck and
yeah.
I Am Justice and This Dude's a Beast and just a bunch of different people. Now I got a bunch of, you know, friends from just playing with Savage a couple times. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And it's funny, all the people that you named off, I know about, I think like 70% of them, you know. Yeah. And it's cool how small the community really is, and how everybody kind of knows everybody. And we were just talking, like Redneck and I played a game yesterday, and he was talking about how like one of his viewers, Hillbilly, like talking about when he's gonna marry like Miss G, which is like one of my viewers. And like they always like go back and forth, and then Smush came in and was just like, no, she's mine. And they all started fighting over each other, and like we all knew who these people were, but Hillbilly's never been in my stream, you know, but I've known it from either being in his stream or being in someone else's stream or whatnot. And it's cool how you really start to form this community where you start to get to know each other, even if you don't know each other directly, you know of each other. You know? Oh yeah,
Miss G's hopped in my Twitch chat from time to time.
Oh, dude, I don't know how she has enough time in the day to visit everybody.
I don't either. There was one night where I was playing like old school hip hop, like 90s hip hop.
Oh, that's what's up.
You into this? All right, I'm coming back here. Sure. All right.
Yeah, Miss G is honestly a sweetheart. She's absolutely amazing. She's my community manager. Like, she works so hard. I'm working so hard so that one day I can actually pay her, because that's how much she does and how much she means to me. But I just love streaming, man. I love being able to build a community, you know. And you've only been streaming for 3 months now, around 3 months. 2 months?
2 months. Yeah.
What's kind of been your experience? You said you started streaming on PlayStation, then you upgraded. You told me before the stream you're on a Mac now, which isn't necessarily the most ideal, but it works for you and it works with what you need it to do. But how's kind of that experience from like starting from zero? You kind of, I'm sure you are even said you referenced Savage quite a bit. So how was that kind of learning curve for you to get into streaming?
It's definitely been interesting. Yeah, like I said earlier, I did start by trying to stream off of my PlayStation, and then I tried what is that? Share Play or whatever
Yeah.
with PS4, where it like shares to the computer, and then I tried a bunch of different things because I did not want to have to get an Elgato capture card, and I was trying to do everything in my power not to do
Principle.
it. I was trying to save. And it just got to a point where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna try it out, see what happens. And it's been so much better since. But it's definitely difficult. I watch random YouTube videos and try to get like the ins and outs and try to get some sort of an idea of how to build my stream and bring people in and network. And last night I streamed for like maybe an hour and a half, and I had 4 random followers pop in just because they said they liked my setup.
Yeah.
Like, it looks cool, it looks good, so we wanted to pop in. And I was like, that's awesome. That makes everything that I've done today worth it.
Right.
Because I'm still on my way. I'm still trying to make my way to affiliate. I'm at like 33 followers right now, so I still got some time to go. But
you're only 27 away from being at is it the 50 or is it 100 that you need for affiliate?
50 for affiliate.
Okay.
50, and then like an average of 3 viewers. So I mean, it's taking its time, and I'm still, like I said, I'm still trying to figure things out. I'm still trying to like this background setup I just did yesterday. Like I moved my whole computer setup yesterday just because I was like, at first I had it, facing my camera facing me this way, and it was like checking out my bed and everything, and then I had it going this way for a while, so it was checking out this wall back here or this wall over here, and then I was like, I'm not feeling it. I need something different, and so I came with this setup, and it got me 4 followers in an hour.
Dude, I like it. It's definitely a little bit more cinematic, Like for me, I have mine straight on because I have myself silhouetted, and I have like my logo and everything. Yeah. So it works for me. But like with your setup, I think that it's totally dope. It almost gets like a bird's eye view a little bit of your room, where you can kind of see everything that's going on. And I think that it brings a lot more character into you actually being a human being, that this is a place that you live in. That you're not just a robot, genetically engineered.
But yeah, it's been an interesting process. It's been fun, and there are days where I'm like, I don't feel like streaming today. I don't feel like fighting my internet to try to make things work and all that kind of stuff. But then there are days where I grind hard and go for a full-on 8-hour stream and just do what I can. But it's hard to fully put myself into it just because there's also the looming stress of the fact that I don't have an actual job right now.
Sure.
And this isn't like fully paying off.
Yeah.
So like, the first thing that's on my mind is trying to find, a stable source of income.
Sure.
And,
I got you.
Secondary is all this.
Definitely. And right now, like how I've always viewed streaming is like it's a hobby, Oh yeah. It starts out as a hobby. It should always start out as a hobby. It's something that you want to do because you enjoy it, and then it slowly turns into a hobby that you make a little bit of money at, like maybe a little bit to pay for an upgrade here or an upgrade there. And once you get to the point where you can kind of pay for your setup that you like kind of invested in, then that's kind of when you go into like a part-time situation where like it's a part-time job. Even though you're putting in full-time hours, you're getting like part-time income off of it. And fortunately, I'm in the position right now where that's kind of where I'm at. But I've been streaming off and on since I was 18, so 5 years now. I haven't gone hard like been really grinding it and since like the past year though. But I played like League of Legends. I don't know if you ever played League of Legends or anything like that.
Nah, never got into any of those.
Yeah,
Warcraft.
I live right. I played that in Puerto Rico because I lived in Puerto Rico for a year, and it was just a way for me, kind of like you, to reconnect with like a buddy of mine, and we would just like play like 3 or 4 games a night, but each game on League of Legends is like an hour long. And so we would play like 3 or 4 hours a night, and it was just a great way to like have a conversation because in Puerto Rico, not many people spoke English, so it's hard to like have an intellectual conversation apart from I need to go to the bathroom. Where is it? You know, and it was a great way to connect. But definitely, like for me, streaming, you got to do it because you love it. You know, you can't do it for the money. And I love the outlook that you're having on it. You're not ignorant to the fact that like you do need a job to support yourself, and like streaming, you're not just going to become an overnight success in streaming and it's going to solve all your problems, because you're going to go bankrupt and bad things are going to happen because of it. You know, it's not sustainable at this time. Not to say that it's not going to ever be, but it's just you got to be smart about your living situation in your future, you know? And I feel like a lot of kids that are around like 18 or 19, because you're 30, so you're definitely an adult, you're wiser than I am, but like 16 to 18 to 20-year-old kids are trying to do this full time, you know, and they're not even an affiliate yet. They haven't seen any income. They're just saying, I'm going to make it. And I love the ambition, but it's like, okay, you're not there yet though. You know, you have to set yourself up to a certain point, and then you can realistically try and go for that goal, you know?
Yeah, I've set myself up for failure way too many times with the one-track mindset, and I'm gonna give a little bit of credit to my military experience, but it's always given me the idea of having a backup plan and having a backup to that backup plan.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's really what it comes down to. Is it would be awesome if I could do this full time and, you know, be making the same money as Savage or TP or so on and so forth.
I don't know what happened within the past couple weeks, but Savage just jumped up to like 1,700 subs. He won that tournament. I don't know if he got a lot of subs off that tournament, but
it wasn't that. It was this random.
First of all, huge shout out to Savage. Homeboy deserves it. You know what I mean? I love the guy. Oh, yeah. I just came in. I was like, damn, son.
There was this guy. It's something like something Jester. I don't know, some random guy just popped in and started following him one day and dropped like 450 subs to him in the course of like 2 days.
Jesus.
And it was like during times where he wasn't even playing. It was at the
like just chatting. Yeah.
Like, it was in the 30 minutes like pre-chat thing. And the guy just kept dropping 50 subs on him. And he was just like, oh my God, like, what's happening?
Honey, we're having steak tonight.
and then because that guy was dropping so many subs, other people kept dropping like random 5s and 10s here,
right?
To try and like keep up. But yeah, the guy's at like 470 subs
within the past week or something.
Within a week. And that was before the tourney. That was, you know, like I said, before he was even actually playing anything. He was just sitting there talking. It was just like, what?
Did you watch any of the tournament?
I watched some of it. I watched most of it.
What was it? Was it a blackout tournament?
Yeah, it was quads.
Okay, I had a swim meet, so I wasn't able to tune in on it. But so it was squads. How was the breakdown of it? Do you know the structure?
I had no idea.
Huh.
It was all based on kills, I want to say,
and it was a streamer tournament though. Like it was just like only it was an invitational essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, so there wasn't like 1,000 kids playing it.
No, not to my knowledge.
But you probably had like the big names like the Teeps and the Flux and everybody.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like if I was making that sort of money, then yeah, I would definitely make this a full-time thing. But
oh hell yeah, man! I don't think anybody would deny it.
But,
like if you think about it, like $1,700, or I mean 1,700 subscribers. I think I don't know if that's the most that he's ever had, but like 17, you times that by 2, you're looking at easily like, God, what is that? Like three and some change. Look closer to 4.
Yeah,
that's just off of gifted subs and subs alone, like that's definitely enough to live off of. That's the goal though, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, yeah, no, dude. So recently I've picked up a little bit more traction off of like from a monetary sense, which is absolutely amazing. I'm saving all my money though. I'm not spending it on anything. Saving it. I have a goal where I want to save up $10,000 by the end of this year, and then in January of next year, I'm going to move to Texas. Texas has zero state income tax, and so with that, it's a very cheap place to live. It also has a low cost of living. And so 10K will allow me to set myself up to try and become a full-time streamer, or to be a full-time streamer over the next year, you know? And with it, I'm starting to see a little bit more income come in, and it's exciting, man, because you can kind of see, at least, I don't know if you've really looked at the Twitch analytics, but you can really see the breakdown of like your average viewers and like how it all kind of maps out, and they have it all graphed out for you, and it's really cool. But one thing that I love is like I've been streaming now on Twitch for I believe 9 months, and so I literally will go back in like a month format and like go to the first month streaming, and then the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and it's cool to kind of see a little bit of a track kind of go up, you know, and the progress bar essentially level up a little bit, and it's super fulfilling. But it's hard being a streamer, and I'm sure that you can elaborate on this too. There's days, man, where you're just like, dude, like yesterday I was holding 10 viewers and now I'm like down to 3. Like this sucks, you know? Like what did I do? Is it my personality? And then you start like overthinking it, and you're just like, this sucks. I've learned to like kind of just like realize that you're gonna have like days like that, but starting out, man, it was hard.
Oh yeah. There are days where I'm streaming to myself and it's boring, and you're just like, is this gonna change? And then what I did is I turned off the viewer count thing, so I'm not constantly like turning and looking at it.
Yeah.
And last night at some random point, I had like 7 viewers out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and people were like popping in and chatting with me, and I was just like, what's happening right now?
Yeah.
Like I said, I got those random 4 followers, and that was like back to back to back. The first guy who came in, he sent his wife to come check me out, and then he sent his like buddy, and so they were all like, yeah,
sent his second cousin twice removed.
Like, oh, man, like I'm glad you liked it, glad you sent people here, like that's what it's about.
Yeah. Were you playing Blackout or?
Yeah, I was playing Blackout.
Okay.
I was running Alcatraz I think at that point.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely, there are days where you're just like, I don't know if I want to do this. And my one of the other guys I stream with, Justice, he was feeling the same way, where he was just like, I don't even know if I should keep streaming anymore. You know, I'm tired of streaming to just myself, and it's just one of those things where you just gotta fight through it. You just gotta keep going and grind, and you know, hope that it pays out. And you know, it's like we said, there's no guarantee that you're going to become this overnight success, but if you're doing it for the right reasons, like just because you enjoy it, you enjoy, you know, wanting to try and connect with people, then it shouldn't matter how many viewers you have and, you know, who's popping in. It's just, if people want to pop in because they like what you got going on, then that's what it's about.
Yeah. And I found though that, like, at least in my experience, because I'm able to now hold around, I'd say 20 to 30 people watching, which is absolutely amazing. We, of course, dip down from that at times. But one thing that I found is once you get around like 5 to 6 to 7 people kind of consistently watching you, there's like Twitch has these like view bots that collect data from your stream. And like there's different companies that do it too. That like Commander Root, I don't know if you've ever seen him in your stream under like your viewers or whatnot, but that's one of the bots that will like collect data, and they'll legitimately collect audio from your stream, and they'll use that for marketing for brands. So if you say pizza 87 times in the stream in a matter of an hour, they're gonna be like, oh, Tostino's, like here's the metric of people talking about pizza, you know? I know it sounds super far-fetched and out there, but there's a guy named Devin Nash on YouTube that I watch. He's got a bit of, not a podcast, but he kind of makes videos based on like analytics, and he owns the largest company for marketing and analytics for streamers, and so he talks a lot about it. He actually used to be the owner of like a big gaming organization too. I think it was like Team Envious or something like that, or Dignitas. Really cool dude. But I just find it fascinating that like you can have 15 people in there, but 5 of them are like these viewer bots that they're totally legit. They're nothing like that you paid for, but they're just collecting data from you, you know, but they still count as a viewer, you know? And so like you immediately jump up from like 10 to like 15 at times, you know? And it's kind of fascinating to I would love to know how all that actually worked.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if they're giving me viewers, then I'll take it.
Right? What's your average viewer count at right now?
Giving me that bump at?
Like around like 2, 1?
Yeah, probably 2 or 3.
2 or 3. So dude, you're probably real close to the 3 average. So you probably just need the 50 followers.
Yeah.
Then you should be good. All right, man. Well, I really think that like this podcast will, the community that we've kind of created just from, and I say we because it's not just myself, you know, there's so many people that go into it. We'll definitely see what we can do. I would love to see you become an affiliate within like the next like week. I think that would be
awesome. That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. Would that like start off the, what is it, April, January, February? No, March. Would that? Dude, I don't even know sometimes, man.
Is it not January?
Right. But no, I think that would definitely start the month off right, you know?
Oh, definitely. That would be awesome. We'll see.
What time?
I really do hope.
What's your streaming schedule like?
Again, I'm trying to build one, but like I said, my first goal is to try and find an actual job.
Sure.
And so
that you kind of work around. Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah. And so most of my day is spent like, you know, browsing job boards and trying to find stuff. And so I've been trying more and more to stick with like the 7 to midnight range.
Okay.
Because that's when like Savage is on, or a lot of like Redneck gets on around then. And I do like to play with other people, so that I'm not just
100%. And it's more entertaining too for your viewer. Yeah.
If I'm streaming to nobody and playing by myself, it gets kind of boring.
Yeah.
So you know, I just feel like it's a better use of my time if I'm playing with somebody. So I relate around then. My buddy that I do play with, he is still in the Air Force, and he's deployed to Europe right now, and so he'll get on with me during like the 2 to 4 time frame, and so he and I will play like Modern Warfare with each other, and sometimes I'll stream it, sometimes I won't, just depending on how I'm feeling that day.
Yeah.
But I don't have any like real set schedule just yet, so
I got you, man. Well, dude, get a schedule, you know, and if like we'll talk after the stream. I'll be streaming tomorrow. Is tomorrow Wednesday? God, dude, I'm so bad. If you stream, we'll talk, and I'll host you, man. I'll host you with whatever I got, and see if we can bump that viewer count up a little bit, and get some follows, bro. Because like 50 followers, dude, you got 33 right now. Like I'm already seeing like we can make it happen. We could definitely make it happen. And I know how much or how exciting it was when I got affiliate, because I remember when you were on Twitch a while back, and like you had to have like 50 concurrent to become an affiliate, and they dramatically reduced it. And so when I became an affiliate with like the new settings, it was awesome, you know. And it's a great feeling to know like it's a small step, but it's a big step for where we're at. That like, okay, now like I can get a little extra income based off of gifted subs and bits and things like that.
Yeah.
And people are so much more willing to honestly gift subs than to donate off of like the Streamlabs donation link. You know, just because it's integrated into the Twitch culture and the community, and you're gifting a sub to somebody who might actually re-up their sub, kind of like how it happened with you know, in Savage. You're like, dude, this whole like no commercial thing's great. I'm gonna keep this going, you know, and it
It
really
definitely,
turns into something.
yeah, it definitely turns into it.
Yeah.
It definitely pulls people. It pulled me, and I have a very strong constitution, so it pulled me. But I'm just like, no,
Yeah.
it's big.
But dude, no ads are great, right?
Yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah. I get so annoyed when I go and click on somebody. It's like I gotta see the same ad that I've seen like 14
right, like
times today.
the
And it's
hunter
like
ad, like the hunter for Amazon Prime or whatever it is.
you're just like, I wish there was a because I've already watched all of the Hunter. I wish there was like a thing that I could click and be like, I've already seen this. Can
Yeah.
I see a different version?
Next.
Like,
Yeah, it's rough, man. But dude, that's I'm excited for you, man. You're definitely in the early stages, which is it's tough at times to be in, you know, and everybody that it has streamed, unless you know or like you're really good friends with a high level streamer, everybody goes through like this
yeah,
obstacle of being streaming to nobody, you know, and having that those times of self-doubt of like, is this worth it, am I enjoying this, you know, and having to really reflect, and then overcoming that just makes you so much stronger, you know, and you have to kind of realize at a certain point why you're doing it. And like for me now, like the money, I do it more for the community rather than the money, you know. I do it because I love playing with people and building relationships rather than just trying to get people for their money. Now, originally when I started streaming, the reason why I got into streaming was like, oh, I can make money doing this, you know? And it was the wrong way to go about it. But I was 18. I was a little kid just trying to get make a career out of playing video games. And it's
yeah,
funny how it kind of manifests over time and your reasoning kind of changes, you know?
yeah. Well, I mean, I think the concept of monetizing your time is something that plays into a lot of people who stream. Like, if I'm already doing this, why not
Yeah.
try to make money off of it? So I think that that is what pulls people in initially to streaming, to most things, honestly, is there a way that I can, make money off it? But I think the part about building a community and, making friends is the happy accident that comes from that ends up being the reason that you stay with it.
Yeah.
And, it ends up in turn being what
What drives
keeps
you.
you going. And like you say, you don't even think about the money at that point because you're already doing something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, and it's easy for like I don't know, like again, I'm such a small drop in the bucket that is streaming. You know, I'm not saying I'm a
yeah,
big deal by any means. I don't ever want it to be felt that way, but I am at a point where I feel like I'm just a little bit like I've kind of reached a little bit of the next level to where I have a little bit more of a community. You know, a little bit more of a backing, which is absolutely amazing. And with it, it's really easy to say like, oh yeah, I don't do it for the money now because money's coming in, you know.
yeah,
But the reason why I do love it is like I feel like when you stop caring about the money and you just care about building the community, the money actually comes more so than if you were actually focusing in on the money.
yeah,
You know, because people see that like that you're genuine and that you're not trying to use them for a monetary sense or whatever. You know, that you're just trying to enjoy their company,
yeah.
and people can sense that really easily.
Well, it's like what I said about taking the view count ticker off of
Yeah, which is smart
the
to do.
stream dashboard. Is, I stopped focusing on how many people were in my stream, and then suddenly I had a bunch of people in my stream that were new and just decided to follow and send in other people to
Why do you think
follow.
that is though? Do you think that you behaved differently, like your mood was better, or it was improved by not having to worry about it?
Yeah, I think because I think the idea of somebody watching you, especially if they're not talking, I feel like that has its own effect on you and how you play because you're more focused on how you're sitting and what you're saying and how you're interacting with the people that you're playing with. And so you're not as natural, you're not as carefree. And so when you take that away and you're just doing what you're already supposed to be doing, and then people start talking, and you're like, oh, like, all right, cool, like this is working. It gives you a more natural feel, a more natural look, so that you're not constantly overthinking what you're doing in the moment and then playing poorly. And
100%.
um,
You're not looking at the
and
analytics while you're streaming.
exactly, and it's the same thing with the money. Like if you're focused on the money, it's going to be slow. But if you're doing what you love, you're passionate about what you're doing, and you're, enjoying yourself and not overthinking all the other stuff, people are going to feel that. People are going to connect with that natural attitude and enjoy it. So,
Yeah, 100%, man. I couldn't agree more. And I feel like there are so many people that, like, yes, like, you should be concerned about the money if you're looking at doing this potentially for a full-time career, or let's just say you're doing this for 30 hours a week. You should be at least in the back of your mind, like, okay, like, what am I trying to do to make a profit off of this, or how can I better position myself for my future? I view, like, at least I like to try and view things in a very either logical or with like a business aspect in mind. Like, how can I better the business? And I've noticed, like, I cut back on my streaming from when I was streaming a while back. I was streaming 6 days a week. There were times where I was streaming 7 days a week for like 8 hours a day. And then after, like, I think like 2 months, or 3 months or 5 months or whatever it was of doing that, I kind of looked back and I was like, okay, how much have I grown? From a monetary sense, from a community sense, from everything. I looked at it, dude, it was so marginal, like completely so marginal that it was like, okay, not to say that it was a waste, but it's not the best use of my time,
yeah.
And so it's kind of that common saying of working smarter, not harder. And I really had to kind of self-reflect on, like, what's something that I can do to work smarter, because I'm putting in these hours regardless, so I might as well try and do something different,
Yeah.
And that's when I started to try and do a little bit, like, I would taste things here and there. I started the podcast. I started doing different things, and not everything works, not everything is successful, but it's only a failure if you give up, right? You just keep trying different things, you keep tweaking it, and then eventually you stumble on something that kind of works, and you go in even more on that,
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what a lot of people have a problem with now, is they just, at a certain point, they're just playing video games still.
Yeah.
They're not viewing it necessarily as a business, which is totally fine. If that's not something that you want to do, then don't necessarily view, like, that you're going to do it as a full-time job eventually. But if you want to view this as a full-time job, you have to treat it like a full-time job. And inside of a business, you don't just have the person that, like, if you view it as like a broadcasting station or like a news station, you have like your weathercaster, but they're getting fed that information, right? There's a marketer in the background, there's a publicist, there's so many different things. So you have to fill all those roles as part of your business, because you're a one-man show right now. But you can only stream. That's just one part of it. You have to also do the admin side, the back end of having to market yourself to actually get eyes onto you.
Oh yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, and it is daunting. It is very difficult and scary to, like, think about all the things that you have to do in order to make it. But it's like you said, if it's what you're doing full time, then that's just what you got to do. You gotta do what you need to keep it going. And it just, I mean, if you're already looking at it at as a full-time job, then you don't have anything else to worry about anyway. So
Exactly.
You just got to keep going with it and keep up with it. And I don't know. I think the hardest part about all of that at that point is just to be able to keep it in the mindset that you're doing something that you enjoy, instead of, because that's always my fear about hobbies, because I'm also really into photography.
Okay.
And I want to, start opening, my skill set up to, doing professional photography for people.
Yeah.
But there's always that thing in the back of my mind of, am I going to lose my love and my passion for this because I've decided to monetize?
It's now a job. Yeah.
Yeah. Is the feelings that I had about this going to change because now I'm constantly stressed about it and not really enjoying what I'm doing because I'm not doing exactly what I want to do. Like,
yeah, you're being told what you should produce. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Savage is playing Blackout 4, and every single night I watch him play, he's like, I hate this game. I don't want to play it anymore. But that's the BR that's out right now that everybody's playing, that everybody's watching. And so it's just one of those things that, you know, you got to bite the bullet and play what you don't want to play so that you can keep people coming to watch. And,
yeah, 100%.
You know, it's unfortunate, and it is a struggle. It is complicated and it's frustrating, but it's just one of those things that you have to do. And I mean, he's gotten better with like switching it out and playing for a little while, then switching to something else like
Tarkov or whatnot. Yeah. That game's
but,
so cool, man. I love that game.
Well, first, I can't play it because I have a Mac, so that sucks. And second, I'm sure playing it is a lot more fun than watching it. When I've watched Savage play it, I feel like it's just so slow.
Yeah, so, it is, but it's suspenseful, you know, because like there's something on the line. If you die, you lose all your loot, and it sucks. Yeah. But no, I totally understand. But yeah, man, I legitimately, I feel like for me personally, I've gotten kind of the same approach that Savage has. Like, he predominantly streams Blackout because that's where the viewers are. That's what they mostly want to see, you know. But he's built a community based off of his personality, because you tune in for his personality, like you said, you know. Like, that's why you stay. You love how he rages and then it's all of a sudden, like, cool, you know. And he brings that with him to any game that he plays, you know. So I remember watching, I forget what, like, it was like Delights or Dreadful Delights or something, where he's playing like this little character and there's like all these like glutton monsters, and it's like a
little nightmares.
Little Nightmares, that's what it was. Yeah. And like that was just hilarious, you know. That was good content.
It's so funny
because he made it that way, you know, and he made it enjoyable, and the community was backing it. Of course, he didn't pull the viewers that he normally does, but to a degree, I think I've heard him actually talk about it. He's like, I don't necessarily care to pull those viewers every single day. You know, if I'm not enjoying myself and playing a game, then like this is not a job that I necessarily want, you know? So I want to be able to curate it to a degree that I can. And I feel like that's where he's done something so smart that a lot of people don't do, is he's put a little bit on the line of risking his viewership and his monetary income in the moment to allow himself to have this kind of freedom to be himself and play what he wants to play for the future, you know. And I don't feel like enough people really do that, you know.
Definitely
Yeah.
But it's always good to watch streamers play scary games, because they get those jump scares like you did the other day with the Resident Evil.
I hate that game. I hate that game so much, dude. I hate that game so much.
I laughed so hard.
Which one was it? Like, what was that? What was going on inside of that episode? Because like, there's been so many jump scares, man, that it's just like I feel like crying at times.
It was the lady with the long arms like burst through a window. You were like swiping away. I remember laughing so hard. And then someone clipped it, and I was just like, everybody needs to see this. So I was like, popping to other people's streams. I was like, check this out. I sent it to Redneck. He was dying.
He actually came in off of that. That was hilarious.
Yeah. What was it? Savage had something that happened. Oh, when he was playing Little Nightmares, he was eating.
Oh, he choked. I saw that.
I was the one that clipped that, because I was like, that was the most hilarious sound. Like, he was just sitting there.
It looked like he almost died, man. Like, that could have gone so south.
I mean, I didn't clip it as soon as he went off screen. I was like, oh shit, what happened? And then he popped back up and he was like, oh my god. That needs to be clipped.
Well, dude, like, you just see him go, and then just immediately, like, mouth, like, finger in throat. Just upchuck it, dude. That was a whole, I laughed hard. He posted it on Twitter. That's how I saw it.
He posted on Twitter, and now he's got a specific command for it. So that every time he types in exclamation choke, it pops up.
I didn't know that. I'm definitely gonna use that.
Well, he's got two, because there's a second one where he just chokes on air, and so we all just like love giving him heat for it. But that's the kind of stuff that is entertaining, is when streamers are able to laugh at themselves.
When they're human, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you're laughing about your jump scare. He's laughing about, choking on some steak. Like, it's funny. Like that's what this is about: enjoying yourselves and having a good time.
Right?
And
It's
not being
relatable.
so serious. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel like the more relatable you are to your audience, the more you're going to be well received. You know, because if you try and put yourself on a pedestal that you're better than other people, people get wind of that, you know, and they understand it, and they don't want to be a part of it because they don't want to feel less than, you know, they want to feel like your buddy, you know. Well, yes, like even to like on a small degree myself, I have like these like weird fans at times where I'll have like people slide into my DMs or whatnot. And I'm like, this is weird, you know. It's hard to filter that out, but at the end of the day, the majority of your viewer base are your buddies, you know, and they come in every single day, not because they idolize you, but because they want to talk to you. They want to tell you how their day was. They want to laugh together and enjoy each other's company. That's really what it boils down. But god damn it, man, those scary games are going to be the death of me, bro. Like, I don't know how much longer I can do it for. Like, I played Outlast 2 because it was free on the PlayStation. Yeah. That game was scary. There's a funny part. I'll have to send you the clip, but there's like this weird like. Have you played Outlast 2?
No.
Good. Don't save yourself. But there's a part where like there's like a little like opening underneath like this barn, you know, and like I like crouched down. Like I ran through like a field to get there. There's like an opening like hallway almost to like get to the barn. I crouched down and I realized that's where I need to go. And so I crouched down and I start to crawl underneath it. And then this scary music like this kind of like comes in. And I'm like, F this. And I like back up and I stand up and I turn around and there's this like crazy like lady, like super lengthy, tall lady with like a scythe, like just walking at me, you know, about like 10 paces in front of me. And I'm like, oh shit. And so I turn around and I like try to go underneath the barn again. And I'm like, fuck. And like she grabs my leg, pulls me back. And like the whole time I'm just screaming, man, like literally like a little girl. And then like, cause like she pulls me back and like brings me like closer to her face. And then she throws me down and then legitimately castrates me with her scythe. And like, I'm just like freaked out the whole time. And I'm like, I'm literally doing the swatting thing that you were talking about. It's like, this is my defense mechanism, bro. I'm like, no. I'm not proud of it, okay? It's happened. I'm not proud of it. The thing that sucks, though, about those games is you can't fight back, you know? Like, you can't actually, like, throw a punch or you can't do anything. And then, like, that's the worst part, you know? Because, like, your fight or flight is taken away. You literally, like, you can only just run away. And then if you're caught, like, you're screwed. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. It makes for great content. Like, I love watching it back, but in the moment, hate it, man. Hate it. It's the worst thing ever. But people love it. Like, you like it. So, like, I mean, like, it made you laugh. So mission accomplished there.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
All right, man. Well, dude, thanks so much for coming on to the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Yeah, right on the hour mark. I love it, bro. Conversation seemed to flow. I feel like I actually got to know you a little bit too, and I feel like people will get to know you as well through this episode. But so you typically stream around like 7 o'clock to about midnight when you do stream Eastern time. Cool. And then you're on Twitch. Do you make any content on YouTube, or are you on Twitter, Instagram?
I'm on Twitter. KingCarlisle, Twitter.
Okay.
That's it. I'm trying to add more to my YouTube channel here and there.
I gotcha.
I'm very critical of myself, so
no worries,
sometimes
man.
I don't. But my Twitter is KingCarlisle113. And
yeah. So Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. I got you, man. Well, dude, let's see if we can get you that affiliate. I'm sure that we can at least get you closer to it. But dude, I just love how genuine you are. You're just a kind of like a down to earth guy that I can tell doesn't take himself too seriously, and it's just a chill dude. So I think a lot of people can definitely relate to that. Yeah, man, 100%. But thanks for coming on, bro. And then everybody that is listening right now, guys, do this man a favor. Drop him a follow over on Twitch. That's going to be King Carlisle. That's KingCarlisle, right?
Yep.
Dude, spelling bee, 3rd grade champ. Let's go. That, and I also have your name literally on the other screen, so
I would hope you'd be able to read it.
Get off me. But guys, go give him a follow. For those that are watching this on YouTube, all the links to his social medias will be down in the description down below. For everybody that is watching this or listening to this in the audio experience, I don't think you can watch something in an audio experience. But if you are, let me know how that works out. But go give this man a follow nonetheless. You guys are the true MVPs for sticking it out to the end of the episode. Just want to tell you guys how much we appreciate it. And guys, that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I know King Carlisle and I cannot wait to read your comments down in the YouTube comments down below or whatever it is. You guys know what to do. But definitely let us know what you guys thought of this episode. Would love to know a little bit more and what you guys would like to see next. But guys, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, morning, evening, whatever it is. I hope you have a good one. Guys, thank you so much. I will see you guys in the next one.